man, it's crazy. Why is the media why do they like Democrats so much?
Because Democrats like centralized power. That's what this really all is about. This really, I mean, I've been trying to explain this to people. Centralized power, you either basically, people think, okay, I'm a liberal or a conservative, I'm a lefty or a righty, something like that. I'm a Democrat or a Republican. But basically, you're an authoritarian or a libertarian. I don't mean you're a libertarian like a card-carrying member of the Libertarian Party with the crazy naked guy on stage. But what it means is you either believe that humans can create some all-powerful system that will be above us and can somehow do the best for all of us, or you believe that humans are flawed and that you would never want a very powerful system above us, that it would just be, you would have as much autonomy over your life as possible. And guess what, Sean? You're going to do some shit in your life that I don't like. I'm going to do some shit in my life that you don't like. But as long as I don't do it on your property or take your stuff, then that's the negotiation of a free society.
Exactly.
So the reason that the media love the Democrats right now is the Democrats have become completely authoritarian. They want to control every part of your life, and it's human nature in a way, I suppose, for a certain type of person to want to control other people. I don't want to control other people. I just don't want other people controlling me.
Dude, tell me
If you
think this is a good example, because this is not politics at all. But I live in South Carolina, Charleston, and there's a big hurricane a couple of years ago, and the news loved the hurricane. They were like, this is a hurricane. It's all over the news. So they start controlling people. So the hurricane was coming on Saturday. And on Tuesday, every single person was leaving town. They opened up both lanes for people to leave town. We were debating leaving town because we have a business, and we kind of wanted to stay. We left because we heard it was going to be bad. But we left on Friday, and the roads were wide open. But that was a non-political situation in which the media controlled everyone's actions, and it seemed like they loved it. Yeah. And that's kind of along the same lines, right?
It actually is along the same line. That's not to say that every now and again there could be a once in a century storm that you got to get out of Dodge, But remember Miami, what was it, 2 years ago, southeast Florida, they said there was this massive storm coming and it was going to destroy all of South Florida and Miami will be underwater forever, and everybody flew up north and everybody went to Georgia and north, and basically nothing happened. Nothing happened. Actually, my folks have a little place in Florida and we went there a few weeks after the hurricane. Place never looked better because the water had gotten everything growing and the buildings were cleaner, and it was like, man, this should happen a little more often. But what you're talking about there, the sort of, something's happening in the future. There's something happening, or maybe it's happening in 2 days. We know a storm is a brewing. What can we do to get everybody freaking ginned up? What can we do? By the way, a lot of price gouging happens in a lot of that stuff. All sorts of, there's a lot of winners in all times of crisis. When AOC wants her Green New Deal, please don't think for 1 second that she doesn't have a lot of friends that have a lot of the companies that will benefit from that stuff. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But what do they tell you? If you don't sign my Green New Deal, me, AOC, bartender from the Bronx, who's never done anything other than become a media darling, if you don't let me rejigger the entire world economy, you're all going to die in 12 years. I mean, these people are completely bananas. It's funny to me that in a way that we talk about them as if they're serious people. They're clowns. But real quick, the reason that the authoritarian thing is so connected to the Democratic Party, what do Democrats always want? They always want more money. They always want more in taxes. So it's basically like a mafia racket. As long as you will pay more money into the system, we'll take care of you. The media will hide all your shit while we go after every Republican. Where people on the right are like, no, we want to keep what's ours. We don't want the system to be too big. Well, then you're not in the game. So the left has become basically a protection racket. It's an episode of The Sopranos without any cool characters.
Exactly. And every time they have something, a hurricane is like kind of a decent example, but I think global warming is like a better example because it's less like real. Like as far as like it's coming tomorrow, it's something that they can use. That's like you said, off in the future. That's a threat. Like, give me all your money. Like, give me everything. Let me take power. And
imagine thinking that AOC could write a document that is let's pretend. I mean, really, let's pretend the world is going to end in 12 years. Which, by the way, she said about 3 years ago. So we got 9 years left.
9 years.
Imagine if we knew it was true. Like, guys, we got 9 years. like AOC can save us. Like, imagine how stupid you would have to be to believe that woman could save us from anything. She would not last 3 days on a deserted island.
Dang, now you're like got 9 years left, man. We got to start, I don't know, doing whatever. But dang, that's crazy, man. And yeah, it's really, really the power. And like, I don't like I said with Cenk, like I kind of respect the part of him that I don't like. Like I kind of like respect the organizing of the media and the goons that we talked about, the Antifa people, and then the middle level politicians. Like, it's a little bit like respectable, but it's bad. And like,
well, what you're saying,
I'm kind of impressed.
Well, I made the Alien reference before, but I actually mention this quite often, that if you've watched have you seen the original Alien movie? I think from 1978, the first Alien movie. If you remember, if you remember in that movie, it's the classic Alien movie. The doctor who ends up turning out to be an android, when they discover the alien, he's talking about how much he admires the alien because it's so evil. And it has no remorse, and it has no conscience. And he loves the fact that it just does what it does, and it doesn't care what you think. So when you tell me that you sort of admire them, you're actually saying the same thing. I totally get it. I don't mean that. I'm not even judging you when you say it. Well, by the way, that's why you have to give the devil his due. You have to.
I mean, I'm on a podcast saying I'm against it. Like, I'm openly like not a fan of it. But I'm just saying.
But you're giving the devil his due. You admire the fact that they have created a system basically that is so evil, but it's been able to organize so many forces of society that you have to admire its elegance in the banality of evil.
Yeah, absolutely. And